I'm vaping.
Hello and welcome to Midweek Gaming. How are you all doing? Welcome in the chat. Cerebral Paul, Jamie Richardson, Assassin Looper. There's quite a few turned up already. Lee Murray King, Prophet. Prophet was there well early. He sent a message about 9 o'clock. He did. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Now, this week we've got a packed show for you, a packed panel as always. Let me introduce the panel this week. Hello, VJ. Welcome back.
Oh, hi there, Stubbs. How are you doing? Thanks for having me back on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to discuss this week's topics with you and the panel and ignoring the chat. And let's go.
That's good to hear. No, I appreciate you coming back on, but you're on every week as a regular panel member.
You know me. I don't take it for granted.
I know. And as he's stuffing his face, no, that was heads up. I'll go to him last. Welcome, Removal Sanity. How you doing?
Hello, all. How are we? Yes, it's good to be back again. It's nice to hear, and it's great to hear see the new topics that's come through, and obviously this lovely guests we have got again. Some fantastic guests, and I'm looking forward to hearing their opinions.
Oh, most definitely. I'm sure it'll be a good show. I'm sure it definitely will be. And then, if he's finished, no, he probably hasn't.
No, he's never finished.
He has.
How are you doing, Mr. Tucci?
I'm doing great. I feel full of energy now.
I'm ready to roll.
Oh, definitely. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the recommendation anyway. I bought Wreckfast in the end. I did.
Ooh,
well done.
Well
It's
done.
an amazing game.
See you on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be installed there by then. Obviously, we shouldn't.
By Saturday, yeah, it should be hopefully.
Yeah. Welcome, Rosie Brown. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, thank you so much, Stubbs, for inviting me to your podcast today, and looking forward to it. Lots of awesome topics, and we have a great panel on today as usual, and looking forward to it, man. Thank you very much again.
Oh, definitely good. It was. I've seen you on Boom shows a couple of times before, and I've seen you about in a few different podcasts. I have definitely.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing the rounds. You are.
Yeah, trying to do the world tour here. We're in the UK today, so.
And welcome, Xbot. How you doing?
What's going on, people? What is up, Stubbs? What is up, rest of the panel, especially Rosie? Because Rosie is sending me cookies. You guys don't know it, but off the air, we were talking about it. He's going to be sending me Christmas cookies. What is going on, chat? Oh man, it feels good to be on Stubbs' channel. I might try to take over a little bit, maybe just a little bit. But yo, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Stubbs, Tushy, and everybody else. Of course, VJ. I hung out with him on Four Guys. My first time really talking to Removable Sanity, to Rosie, and of course Tushy. Tushy, you are everywhere on Twitter, man. Not only that, you are a huge supporter of so many content creators in the community, man. And I have a chance to just say it now verbally to you, man. Thank you so much for what you do and how you support everybody that's up and coming, stuff like that. It is good to see all the support that this community has. But yo, guys, we got stuff to talk about. Let's go.
Definitely. First topic is, I presume everyone's got a series.
Dad doesn't want me to talk, by the way. He just said that in the chat.
What's up, Dad? Welcome, Marion the Mad, who's got Assassin Looper. Welcome,
Homer J.
Welcome back from the dead. Welcome, Homer J.
Matt Barnes.
Welcome, Pong Soul. Do you ever sleep, mate? Welcome, Matt Barnes. Thanks for stopping by. Quite a few people.
Prophet.
Stopping by, people.
War Stew.
Yeah, welcome, War Stew. Now, the first topic is, what do you like about the Xbox Series X or S, and what don't you like about it? And what do you want to see improved? I want Tushi to go first this time because he doesn't speak up very often. And
Yo,
he should.
Tushy, you gotta put the pie down. All right, you gotta put
Good
the
luck.
pie down. You gotta start talking, bro.
Hey, I just want some of them cookies.
Ah, no, they're all mine. And, yo, Rosie said he's giving them to me, man.
Put the order in now, everybody. Put the order in.
Exactly. Right? It takes a couple of weeks to ship it out from Canada to the UK.
Right, I don't know where to start. Should I go with the good or the bad?
That's up to you.
I'll start with the good. Console-wise, I have had literally no issues whatsoever. The only issues I've had is software, and that's freaking Cold War, the new Call of Duty. First day it came out, it shut my console down twice. When I turned it back on, I lost sync to the controller and headphones. And I even ended up finding headphones before my headphones were broken, which they weren't.
Try and keep your mic near your mouth.
Sorry. I'm fading away.
Put the pie down and speak into the microphone.
The pie's gone.
The pie's gone. It's been gone.
Yeah, that's the first one. It's not about the other three you've got sitting around you.
No comment. But apart from that, everything's been sailing. Most of the games run brilliantly. I'll talk about Watch Dogs in the negative bit, but we've Call of Duty. I'm on level 6 of the campaign, but at a certain point, you're in like this base, and you have to like creep around with this like little sniper rifle sort of thing. And soon as I kill everyone, it's fine. But there's some people. As soon as the alarm goes off, the game just crashes every single time, and I can't carry on. I'm just waiting for them to patch it at the moment. Anyway, console-wise, everything's absolutely perfect. It runs absolutely silent. You can't even hear it when it's on. The controller-wise, I'm really impressed with the improvements. It feels a lot tighter. Like the controls, the low latency and stuff. It feels brilliant. I've been using this 90% of the time over my Elite V2.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I don't know why. When I was on Call of Duty Cold War, I seemed to be getting like 90% better performance out of the new controller than the Elite V2. Like felt like I was one step ahead.
Yeah,
on multiplayer.
Yeah, it might be the DLI. I think the Series 1 controllers, those aren't really patched yet, but I know the DLI is on the new, like just the regular S or X controllers there.
Yeah, it's coming out 2021, isn't it? The new update.
Yeah,
early, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I'm loving it. I love the D-pad. I know it's loud, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
I just love it. I can't fault the console at all. 100%.
Well, that's good to hear. That is definitely that's all you want when you spend that kind of money. It is.
Negatives. The only issues I've had is with Cold War. I've had loads of battles with that bloody game. Keeps coming up. This was on the first day to get loads of internet corruption, connection interruption. But since then, it's been running fine. Just waiting for an update for the campaign. Watch Dogs. I've had it twice where it's deleted my save.
Oh, no.
What?
It's happened when I was on the Xbox One X. It literally, I saved it, and then when I went back on, it went back a mission. So I lost about 2 hours or something. Then, like last week, I done about 5 hours. I think about 4 or 5 missions. I completed the game. I got loads of new operators. Even one that was really hard to get and find. When I was on the last level on the last boss, the game just lost all the sound, and because I lost all the sound, I didn't really know what was going on. I couldn't hear the talking or anything. So when the game completed, when I went back into London again, I turned the game off and back on again to like hopefully get the sound back. When I come back, it took me back about 2 days, about 5 hours. 5 hours worth of gaming gone.
So with me, that would be enough for me to put that game on the back burner.
So what I've done, I decided to delete the game so I don't keep dabbling with it, and I'm going to wait for the patch. But luckily, So Shady, I think it was So Shady tweeted out today that the that the patch is coming out tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I've re-downloaded it today, ready, and I'm going to start again with permadeath on this time.
That's good to hear.
Mm.
Permadeath.
Yeah, it's basically
permadeath.
if because you can play as any character in the game, any person in the street. If you have a character, you do get attached to your characters and stuff. But if you die if that character dies, you can't use them again.
Oh, well, yeah.
But if you have permadeath off, they just get arrested, and then
Oh,
you have to wait like half hour, an hour before they can get released again.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But overall, the game, I'll give it nearly a 9.5 to 10 out of 10. It's just that save problem. It's an amazing game. It's just pisses me off.
They will fix it. I'm sure they will. You know.
I bet you had no such issues with the tourist though.
Oh no, I've been playing that today. It's been good fun. I got to admit, I'm struggling.
Which mode are you using, if I may ask, on the tourist?
Mode? I don't know.
Ah, did you not know? There's a 6K. It says a 6K. Was it 6K 60 or a 4K 120?
I'm guessing it's in the options.
I think so.
So I've actually got the game on pause on the screen at the moment. No, I ain't got a clue.
Assassin Lupin knows too well. She put the controller down, Mr. Sushi.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds like you've had overall mostly a good experience with the Series X. It does.
Yeah, I've had a great time with it. I managed to get 42 hours on it on the weekend. That was really good.
Jesus
long
Christ.
gaming. I was on till 3 a.m. This morning with VJ giving him his first experience on Halo 2,
Okay.
which was great.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot. I heard Halo, and I'm like, what? What happened?
His first time ever playing Halo. We went on it about 3 o'clock this morning.
Well, that's good to hear. No, yeah. Overall, it sounds like it's been good for you. You got any other points, Mr. Tucci?
Yeah, the first time I've ever experienced yesterday was messing with the field of view slider. Oh my god,
I
it's
heard
amazing.
about this.
Jesus, I put Halo on. I put it on 120. And it just
It's
felt
120
like
degrees, isn't it?
Yeah, it literally felt like I was playing Doom Eternal,
Wow.
but with less blood and guts.
Wow.
I'm gonna start messing with that on Call of Duty now. I'll get a better view.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been told to do that as well. Once I reinstall Halo Master Chief Collection.
We'll get it installed. Community Game Night's doing Halo this weekend.
I don't.
I haven't tweeted it out yet, but loads of people have requested Halo. Yeah, because Noof
Halo
was playing it
Master
with Noof.
Chief Collection, or
Yeah.
you going Halo 5?
Okay.
Like
We go in the MCC. We'll just pick one out of there.
Halo
go
4 or
old
Halo 2 Anniversary. Those are my two go-tos for the Master Chief Collection, bro.
Yeah, because Noof done the MCC last weekend, and I didn't stop up, but a few people that come on my night, they went over to Noof's after, and they were saying, "Oh, we want to do this again. We want to do it next weekend." So I'll jump on Halo again. I don't mind. I love Halo.
It just seems to me that people are loving the Halo Master Chief Collection again. No one's playing 4 and 5. You know, I could be wrong. It's probably because of the enhancements, but I'm just going off what people are saying on Twitter and that.
Me and VJ discovered something on Halo last night. It kind of pissed me off. I know it was DLC in the past, the Halo ODST and Reach, but in December, I don't know how, but I played that game on the Halo MCC. But when I went to play it last night with me and VJ were going to do the campaign, but then it literally said that I've got to buy the game. It's only £6, but I thought it was in the MCC anyway.
It was in the end. It was put in there at the end.
It's not in there no more.
Yeah, but do you own it or do you have it via Game Pass? Do you actually?
I used to own it on the 360 on disc, but I don't own that now. But I played the game on the MCC in October when they've done the remaster.
Oh, I don't know then. It's very strange. I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't know.
It surprised me anyway. But anyway, on to somebody else.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the? Let's go with Series X Bot 448.
It's funny. It's funny. My name for this I decided was Series X bot, like Series X, Series S, stuff like that. But I do not own either one of them. But you guys know me, and I always have something to talk about, even if I don't have the consoles per se.
Well,
and
no, I didn't know you weren't lucky enough to get
man,
one.
there are some broke folk in the world, man. There are some poor folk in the world right now, brother, and I am one of them.
But it's hard enough to even try and get one, even if you got the money,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Well, if I had the money, I probably would have had one, man. I would have been out there 3 days in advance, just like camping out at GameSpot or something like that. But first off, something I like, and again, this is me looking through the store window and kind of drooling on the window, looking at the Series X and the Series S.
The white fins.
I'm gonna go for talking about the Series S though, because everybody talks about the Series X. Everybody talks about the premium hardware, the top of the line experience, and I gotta say, I gotta give it to Xbox and Microsoft for what they did for a $300 system. Of course, you get lower resolutions, but for $300, even cheaper if you trade in like an Xbox One or something like that. I've heard people getting a Series S for like $100. You're getting the reduced load times. You're getting ray tracing, of course, to a smaller effect than what the Series X. But everything that you're getting with look at this man right there. Look at that. He's got. That's what I call the speaker box right there. That is the Outcast version of Xbox. That is the speaker box. But yeah, that dude, like what they did with this, and even Time Magazine, they even appreciate what that thing is and made it. They made it one of the most innovative inventions of 2020. It made that list for Time Magazine. And the funny thing is, I think a lot of people are sleeping, except for Rosie. A lot of people are sleeping the Xbox Series S, and I think it is a powerhouse of a system that, like, I think at the end, when all is said and done, I think this thing is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm actually I'm thinking about getting the Series S when I can afford a new system, and then eventually upgrading over time to the Series X. But I really want to experience what the Series S has to offer. And yes, I have a 4K television, but it does upscale to 4K, and the upscaling is absolutely incredible as well. You know what I'm saying? It's a new generation. This is not 2013 when upscaling meant you're seeing blocks all over the screen and stuff like that. No, they really kind of pinpointed and refined the upscaling process when it comes to these consoles. And man, I think that the Series S is an absolute steal. That's what I'm gonna say on it. That is what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it, man. I'm sticking to it.
Definitely. no, it sounds it does. It does sound good. It is a very good deal for the price.
Xbox needs to hire me. Come on, guys. I can sell this stuff, man.
You can. Welcome, Masuku. I think I got it right this week. Masuku. I think I got it right. Oh, I got it wrong. Welcome, Go Force Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the Indie Gamer. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome, Homer J. Rosie Brown, obviously you've got the Series S. What's your thoughts on it then, mate?
Yeah, I think I got the Series S and I got the X as well.
Oh, you got both. Okay.
Yeah, the X is on in the background there.
If you have an extra console, I'm just saying, with those cookies, you can, there could be an extra box in there.
Hey, man, you never know, man. The question is, were you naughty or nice this year? Santa has to know. But I got both systems. So the X is for me. That's my main system, and then I got the S for my girlfriend. She plays it on the monitor here, and yeah, like the S is actually. I have a friend as well. He got the S as well, and honestly, it's. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean,
Oh, my bad. Yes, I thought you were. Yeah, and so he picked up an S as well. And honestly, like what the Xbox was saying there, like there's the value that you get, like this in Canada, anyways, is the same price as a PS4 or the Xbox One. So like,
really?
yeah, it's going for $399. I believe it was $399. So that's the same price as a PS4, as an Xbox One. So like if someone was going to get like a new system, like my brother actually reached out to me and he's like, oh, we're thinking about getting this for the kids, and like, what do you think? I'm like, well, if you're going to spend that much, try to, if you can. It is really hard right now, but if you can, maybe try to get like the new system. But honestly, it's so powerful, man. The SSD alone in it too, it's really, really powerful. It's definitely a good. But one of my friends actually he said, he made a good point. He's like, the S is actually basically like the Switch of Xbox. So it's a good like your secondary console. So say if you're like if you have a PS5 or if you have a Switch and you want to get into Xbox, but you don't want to go like too crazy, then you can just pick up this the S, and you have Game Pass on that. You have like you're already in the ecosystem, and I think it's amazing, like what they did, and that's just with the S. With the X, they also have it's very. Both systems are extremely quiet, which I love. The auto HDR. Oh man, I actually tried that. I tried Bayonetta on a 360. I tried it on here, and it was. I think it's amazing. Like what they did. It was crazy. Like the auto HDR was nuts. Like you can have Bayonetta loading up with the SSD, and like it took like a 0.5 seconds for it to load up. It was
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, Rosie, I gotta ask, because you said the auto HDR, and again, for some rhyme or reason, not too many people talk about the Series S. The Series S has the auto HDR feature as well, right?
I believe it does. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does because it's hooked up. Unfortunately, it's hooked up to. I don't have a 4K or HDR monitor, but yeah, I believe it does have it as well, if I'm not mistaken. Because I can't see why it wouldn't. It's not too.
That's insane, man. Absolutely insane.
It's good, though. It's definitely.
Yeah.
It sounds like yeah. So obviously, have you noticed the difference between the Series X and S? Have you noticed it or?
Not really. I mean, they're both. I would say identical. Well, the graphics. Of course, when they're available, they're better on the Series X. But as far as performance-wise, pretty much the same. The only thing I would say is the same thing. I've actually had this issue with this the random shutdown.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
yeah. Only on the X though. Only on the X. And,
I was gonna say the S doesn't really have a lot of bugs if you notice. Like it just runs.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's only on the X, and but it was for me. It's with Gears 5 sometimes, or Call of Duty. I think it's honestly. I'm actually starting to investigate. I think I found the issue. I think I found hopefully a fix. It worked for me last night. That's why I was asking in the chat last night. Like if you guys have like a external hard drive, I actually put like a little poll on my Twitter there at Rosie Arts. Feel free. I'm curious if it has something to do with the external hard drive, like with the USB. Because I unplugged it and I played Gears, no issues, no crashes for the rest of the night, and it was working.
Wow.
I am going to add this man on Twitter right now. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wise man.
You know what? Removable sanity as well. Yeah. Yep. I'm following you too now.
Oh, thank you very much, Betty. I hope I'll disappoint. I mean, I probably will disappoint.
Stubbs. They all say thank you at first, and then they realize what it means. Like when I'm like,
he's always in your DMs.
It can't be any worse than Stubbs. Trust me. He knows I'm joking.
I know.
Rosie, have you got?
You don't see me next week. You know what happened?
Yo, Stubbs, just real quick, because one thing I want to point out again, because you asked about the good and the bad. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be the one that points at that 400-pound gorilla in the room. Okay. Unfortunately, when these consoles came out, there was no true first-party studio offering, that came with the launch of these systems.
Oh no. Well, we admit that because we've mentioned
and that you know, we got, you know, you definitely got to put that out there. I'm a huge Halo fan. You guys know this. And man, I was so excited for Halo Infinite, and just thinking about how they're going back to the more of like the exploration from like Halo 1, like to see that world when they showed the gameplay, and thinking about, oh man, I'm gonna be able to go over there, you know, you're gonna be able to find like maybe a piece of armor over here that you can use, and stuff, like, because that's kind of the way they describe Halo Infinite. And you know, it's upsetting that we didn't get it at the launch of these systems. And you know, it's pretty much, for me, I think it's unprecedented to not have that one golden title that is coming out with fresh systems, at least within kind of like recent history. But with that being said, what they have done on the technical side of things, when, you know, having the machine learning in these systems that created the auto HDR, and what that can do in the future, like whatever these machines are gonna quote unquote learn, everybody, you can put in your Terminator meme, you know, at will, you know, because these machines are thinking for themselves right now. But whatever they're gonna learn in the future, they're already talking about, like, you know, sending even smaller sizes of games for download, because lower resolution assets, and then the machine learning will actually bring that resolution up to a native 4K, like textures and stuff like that, all within machine learning. Like, we're seeing the very beginning of this technology, and this is technology due to, you know, artificial intelligence and these machines being able to learn processes and stuff. Like, you know, it's going to be crazy to see, going from, you know, the launch day to the middle of the generation to the end of the generation. There's going to be leaps and bounds from the beginning to the end of this generation. It's going to be incredible to see. Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah, you know, it's just it's just one of them things. You know, there weren't no launch titles, but I'll be honest, it doesn't really bother me. You know, got Game Pass. I've got too many games already. So, you know, but that's to be mentioned. You're all right, Xbox. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I mean, if we didn't bring it up, somebody in the chat would have. Let's be real now.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of weird for me. I remember like picking up, like, luckily for me, I got pretty lucky with EB Games here. I was able to trade in like a lot of trades, and I got my Xbox for free, luckily. But yeah, like it was kind of weird going in, and like I said, I didn't really have to really buy anything because of Game Pass, like you said, right? And,
oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so it was definitely kind of odd and online. It's like, oh, I don't have to buy any games because they're all on, like, most of them are at Game Pass.
Oh, definitely.
Dude, with that being said, though, that game Call of the Sea that's going into Game Pass in the beginning of December, that game has my interest, because I look at it as kind of like a not as dark. The way I'm seeing it is like it's a not as dark BioShock type game. You know, with kind of like the exploration, the mystery, discovering things, stuff like that, and maybe eventually becoming a mer person or whatnot, from what they showed at the end of the trailer when you saw like the green hand swimming in the water. Yo, that game has my interest big time, bro.
Yeah, there's lots. You got that coming. Dragon Quest as well is coming, I think, a couple days after that, or the same day, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's some good games coming. So overall, Rosie, your experience has been good?
Yeah, overall it's been good. Yeah, like those shutdowns are like, they were pretty. I only had 5 since launch. I'd be playing it like a couple hours a day, like 5-6 hours, you know, or putting in like Gears multiplayer, you know. Yeah, but yeah, it's been awesome. I think it's definitely like a great investment, and for me, even like the cool thing I like about it too with the X, or at least with both, is the SSD helps, like, it actually sort of reinvigorates like some of the older games. So like, you know, for example, GTA 5, you know, like horrendous loading rates, right? Like loading times, but on the X, it's nothing. I can just load up. Oh, I can do this, do that, do that. So it makes
the game. Can back you there.
Yeah.
His partner's a fan of GTA 5, and been testing it out.
Yeah, she straight away said she can see a color difference on screen
Yeah.
And but she's not technically money regarding gaming, and she doesn't know nothing. She can see the color difference, and on the One X, you used to get the occasional stutter, especially when it gets quite busy on screen. But it's literally just smooth. I know it's only 30, but it's really smooth. It's like it's locked 30, which doesn't drop into the stupid 15s or whatever it does when you have a crash and stuff. One more positive thing I've just figured out on the Xbox. Sorry, onto the last topic. The transfer speed between the internal SSD to the memory card is 1 gigabyte per second.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
So I've only just plugged one in.
Yeah.
I've just got it today.
But definitely, no, that's... Yeah, so overall, your experience has been good then, Rosie. Yep.
Yeah, overall, it's been awesome. Like I love it. It's I really hope there's more out there in the wild. But unfortunately, due to some constraints, it's we're able to get that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think from what I hear though, that they're making more Series X's than the RS's because I think.
Dude, if you tell me there's more out in the wild, I will grab a net. I will go into the woods and I will start searching. Yeah. I swear, yeah.
I think this Series S costs them. I think they lose more money on the Series S than the X. They do. That's what I'm hearing. So they're making more X's and S's, but that could be wrong.
Well, Phil said that they're making more X's because at the beginning, the beginning of a generation, of course, it's the hardcore gamer that's really going out and buying those systems, and they always want the premium product. They always want the one that has the most power to it and stuff like that. And according to, and I think we are going to talk about that interview as well from The Verge with Phil, he said that that's the reason why they're making more Series X's right now, because they feel like the demographic that's buying for that first year or so is that hardcore gamer that does want that premium experience. But I expect them to switch it over because the Series S is such a deal. And yes, it is a next gen console. For the people out there like, oh, it's not next gen, people out there saying the One X is more powerful. It isn't. All right, it has the brand new CPU cores. It has the reduced load times, velocity architecture. You have ray tracing in it. It has machine learning. Like, I could go on and on why that thing is a next gen console. But I know it's hard to digest for some people that a next gen console, you can get it for possibly less than $300. Man, that's incredible. Like, I'm gonna change my name to Series S Spot. Okay, that's what it's gonna be from now on.
Anyway, we'll get to another guest now. Thanks for your views, Rosie. And Xbox, definitely. Welcome, Michael Maguire. Thanks for stopping by. There's been a few more. Welcome, Noof Nukem. Welcome. You have to help me here, Removable. Malesico. I get all these names wrong.
Malesico.
No, I got that one right. I'm on about a different name this time.
Marlesco.
Yes, that's it. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Malesco. Yeah, Malesco.
Invader Gaming. Thanks for stopping by.
Invader.
Yeah. What's your opinions on the Xbox Series X and VJ, the good and the bad?
I may not answer your question quite directly, perhaps in a more mercurial manner, with commentary that includes the facets and points raised in your question. I don't just want to go over a list of pros and cons, as that approach is a little subjective, and I want to sort of try and provide a lot more context from a returning to Xbox participant or player, if you like. It was interesting to see the almost exhibitionist, sort of flamboyant or classy collector grade packaging the Series X came encased in. It really did take me back to the Dreamcast days, and when I first got hold of a Dreamcast and how that packaging was. It really did remind me of the high-end packaging Hot Toys used for their DX line of figures. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that particular line of figures or not. So, but after taking the Series X sort of out of the box, I can say it it's in every way, it's not really sort of in every way the visual sort of personification of absolute perfection, but anyone who has the audacity to say the machine is large or difficult to place in a cabinet or the design is unremarkable, then I would say you've obviously never owned a Super Nintendo, a Sega 32X, a Nintendo 64, or a Neo Geo with its large rectangular control pads. While gaming experiences, engagement and joy can be debated, they all sort of fail in comparison, right, in terms of the aesthetic design and being like sort of far too sort of cumbersome to manage. And for me, you know, we're a bit of an eyesore or a blot on the landscape. Well, I'm talking about your display center, really, so to speak. In this instance, I think it's true and good to be reminded, I guess, that beauty is skin deep. I sometimes shake my head when I see comments on Twitter and people complaining and moaning and so on and so forth. But in this instance, as to what people think and not how we ought to think, a pleasing appearance is not really a guide to the character. And in this instance, the power, the knowledge and value harnessed within the SX. I know we've been talking about the Series S, but I think the Series X at what, $500, and I asked Dreadpool, you know, who's a lot more technically literate than I am in terms of what we're being afforded for $500, and he said, look, you know, you're obviously getting a lot more than you would if you were trying to build the same specs on a PC. So it did take me.
My bad. I had to chime in there. Facts.
Sure. As I say, you know, I respect Dreadpool's opinion, so and I listen to him as carefully as I possibly can, unless I fall asleep. It did take me a few minutes to British sarcasm there. It did take me a few minutes to actually switch the machine on whilst wondering if the machine was actually dead on arrival, since I was pressing the sync button, assuming it was the actual on button, and eventually realizing the protruding sort of circular convex button with an X on it, which I should well have known marks the spot, right, or points to the location on a treasure map. And in that instance, lo and behold, the phrase from the Book of Genesis seemed very appropriate, right? Let there be light. And surely there was a semblance of luminosity in my living room, shall we say? Not quite the sun, but close enough. Then I put Mr. Tucci through the painful for him, but joyful and helpful for me, helping me sort of go through all the setup process of the Xbox Series X. Over a call, he helped me navigate through the setup. And since I don't have a phone of my own, and he is definitely a knowledge and information setter, if not an encyclopedia of everything related to the Xbox hardware and its history and accessories, and obviously Phil's underwear drawer wouldn't surprise me. Mr. Tucci is definitely,
it's true.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Tucci, who is incidentally also known as Gimli or Sam Fox. In fact,
hang on. No, carry on.
For all his cross-dressing endeavors, shall we say, he is the epitome of a friendly, welcoming, classy, and knowledgeable community member. I think we can all sort of attest and agree to that. Excuse me. The most important thing we managed to do and retrieve was my gamer tag, a profile from 15 years ago, since the launch of the Xbox 360. And I was so happy to be able to do that, and thanks for that, Mr. Tucci. And since then, I've downloaded somewhere in the region of 43 different games at one time, and I still had hard disk space left. And it was a selection of indie games to AAA games, and it was I didn't have any problems for space. I do have it now, and I definitely will have issues with space, especially if with the cyberpunk release sort of dawning upon us. So through the introduction of Game Pass and quick resume, and this was important for me, and I kind of anticipated and spoke about this, and I was sort of like wondering, you know, here's the moment of truth. My gaming habits, practices, and psychology have kind of altered, not quite in the realms of sort of how can I put it, totally transformed, but they have changed sort of overnight, where I would typically sort of purchase and exclusively complete a disc-based or physical copy of a game before switching over to another game. I found myself switching between Gears of War Ultimate Edition, The Tourist, Forza Horizon 4, and more recently Hyperdot and Ori. Look, games in terms of pricing, accessibility, choice, affordability, online engagement, being inclusive and building communities has never been greater, nor more widespread, engaging and joyful. especially if you recall the 90s. I don't know, Rosie and 448, if you guys, how old you guys are. I'm sure you're very fine, strapping young lads. Send images to Tushi's DM, feel free.
Hey.
During the 90s.
You didn't say no, though, did you?
Are you going to let me do my thing?
When I send my picture, he's going to be like, is that an elbow there? Is that I don't know what that is.
Savaloys. So during the 90s, 32-bit and 128-bit gaming systems will cost you anywhere between $250 and $500 a machine. Imported games will range anywhere between $35 to $50 for a Game Boy game and a Game Gear game, and $60 to $100 for PC Engine, Mega Drive, and Super Famicom or NEC PC Engine Hue cards. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Let alone $300 for a Neo Geo cartridge. So everyone pretty much playing. Those days was playing on their own in their sort of like silos or ivory towers, unless you had a sibling or a friend who would pop over after school or whatnot. In this respect, nothing makes gaming a lot more accessible and affordable these days than obviously I've alluded to it in some of my comments, is Game Pass, right? Which is far from being an all-encompassing and sort of all-conquering gaming initiative and subscription service as of yet. But saying that, and you know, I sometimes often on Boom's channel castigate Microsoft in terms of where they're on the roadmap, what I see, what I don't see, and what I do and don't like, and I'm pretty straightforward, honest about that. But in this instance, even if I do end up paying $180 per annum, I am accessing thousands of dollars worth of content right now, and I can understand a little bit better now by physically playing with the machine. In a gameplay, there's not a euphemism of any sorts there. Understand a little bit better about what Phil's thinking or his plans are. If you can see the end point of any journey, you can pretty much figure out the path to it. Obviously, the obstacles in the way notwithstanding. So no doubt all of our thoughts, if not mine, look to be at the forefront of Phil's personal agenda from a gaming point of view, right? There's obviously two sides to the coin. Can he deliver on his vision, which is on a seesaw, and can he come to sort of like balance out in time what he wants to achieve for us, as well as the corporate goals and requirements in an ever advancing and evolving industry with competitors within that sphere. I wish him well in the vision of his gaming utopia. We could be kidding ourselves if we sort of didn't realize it all comes at some sort of cost. How significant impactful that cost may be remains to be seen. As I was saying, I've not been in the Xbox ecosystem for very long, so please take that into account when judging what I'm saying. Right, the more I'm in it, the more I can sort of respond and give a better sort of purview, my own and my personal opinion on what's occurring. So for me, feel free to correct my opinions and evolve my thoughts or turn me around if indeed I'm facing the wrong way. At the very least, what I'm hoping for is just to sort of solve a few other items that were in my list. So coming over from a PlayStation 4, this week alone, I had a couple of sort of had to reboot the hardware a couple of times, which did concern me initially. And the joypads and the headsets weren't syncing, all the time. I've only had the system for about 9 days, and I've had these issues like 2 or 3 times. No rechargeable battery pack is, I think, a little bit poor. It is actually really poor in my opinion, and a cost-saving initiative on Xbox is part, which led me to sort of have to purchase a $25 rechargeable battery pack. The talk of how good some of the Elite controller features are, and it led me to ask a few questions which definitely need more investigation from my part. So I'm just sort of like spouting out some comments here while I'm sort of restarting, as I said, my journey with Xbox. The controller, why are some of those features from the Elite controller not already part of the controller shipping with this next gen series set of machines? Another cost saving initiative. I've also heard I would better experience third-party games on offer from Xbox if indeed I had an Elite controller. Is this true or subjective? I don't know, because I've never owned one. I've worked in Asia and with companies that make cheap controllers all the way up to the very best in Sanwa from Japan, who make the best arcade sticks and buttons and mechanisms in the world. The Series X buttons and D-pad are not cheap, but not platform holder grade, in my opinion, or what I've come to expect from Sony and Nintendo's Pro Controller. If you've ever tried the Nintendo Pro Controller, you realize how much less in terms of quality the Xbox controller materials and assembly is. I would prefer to offset trade off the ostentatious and collector grade packaging for cheaper packaging at the cost of materials and assembly surely cost Xbox around $8 to $10 a piece. I would have used those extra few dollars savings to sort of improve the controller material and build and upgrade it to include a rechargeable battery pack. Pushing down on the paddle triggers for shooting and so on and so forth has been really difficult for me to adjust, and it almost feels like a delay since I have to allow my finger to sort of travel more along, in order to for cause and effect. This may be due to me just not being sort of used or familiar with the mechanism, and something to do with maybe my muscle memory and consciousness and all that kind of stuff. So gaming, as in life, always delivers new facts. So I would like to say our viewpoints are constantly evolving due to changes and coming across and embracing new facts, proven, of course. They have to.
BJ, when it comes to the controller, and I agree with you. At least, again, I haven't played with a Series X controller or anything like that. But I said later on in the Xbox One generation, I felt like the controllers. They've gotten kind of like cheaper and cheaper on the plastic, on the basically the materials that they built it with. One thing I will say, somebody needs to get you an Elite Series 2 controller because not only is it the best controller, and with all kind of like the metal components that are that it's built with and how sturdy it is and stuff like that. Not only that, but you will in the future be able to get a firmware update through the Series X and the Series S, and that low latency that they're talking about with the new controllers will be updated into the Elite controllers as well. So not only are you getting the higher quality controller, which I definitely $180 for a brand new controller.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money.
It is a lot. Yeah.
It's worth it though.
But to get that and the lower latency, the only thing that you're missing at that point in time is the share button. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing you'd be missing on the controller, but you'd be getting the quality, the hair triggers, the ability to adjust, to switch out your thumbsticks, switch out the pad to the one you want, stuff like that, and you get the low latency as well.
Yeah, no, I totally respect what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
448. And I'll just finish off my point anyway on just to wrap up. Game Pass is really great. As I said, I downloaded 47 odd games that intrigue or warrant my attention, and I want to sort of try each and every one and hopefully complete some if not all of them. As I've said, 45 games to experience since, it's 45 now, so I've completed 2 titles this week already. And you can very well accuse me as a gamer whose eyes are bigger than his stomach, and I will gladly accept the accusation with a wide smile, if not a huge cheeky grin, if you could see me now. I think Yakuza, Like a Dragon, not arriving or being delivered into Game Pass, as many of us anticipated or expected to do so. There was a lot of confusion over that, especially from my realm of and my bandwidth of sort of frequency and understanding, is quite a large, if not sort of unforgivable disappointment. I simply cannot understand why Xbox could not make that deal happen with Sega for a game that's a year old. And since Dragon Quest XI's, the definitive edition, albeit a little older release than Yakuza Like a Dragon, will be in Game Pass on December 10th. Now, I'm just being very selfish here because I'm a big fan of Japanese games.
How dare you?
Games. I love them, and I've played all the Dragon Quest games. I'm just a huge fan. It would have gone some way for me at least, because this is a topic we've discussed several times on Boom's channel over the month. So it's not something I'm just plucking out of the sky and complaining about today. And it was very much so when we knew Halo had actually been delayed, what we would like to see and what could replace it and how could Xbox address the situation. So it's coming from that perspective. And I think it would have made an excellent launch title and a cost-effective apology in the midst of the Halo delay, right? I keep saying this, Phil needs a better team around him. Very few that I've seen invoke or instill supreme confidence in me. Sorry if I if I was a bit contradictory in places today, but life is sort of in itself a contradiction. It can be maddening. It's what makes life fascinating as well, and I guess how we fundamentally evolve. But removable sanity sometimes reminds me of someone with someone who's afflicted with having a sentimental heart and a skeptical mind, and I try to follow him instead. Anyway, that's all from me.
Yo, VJ, I just want to let you know. VJ, I just want to let you know that if you decided that you were going to narrate my live streams, I'd have like 1 million subscribers already on my channel, man. And I welcome you. I roll out the red carpet. If you ever just want to narrate my live streams, I'll just play the games and you just talk about what's going on the screen. Dude, I would definitely appreciate it because you would make my channel incredibly successful, bro.
I just want to say one thing regarding your comment on the internal battery for the Xbox One. I prefer the way they've done it because, in one sense, if you call the controller, it's like the basic controller. If they put a budget battery in one of these, you're just going to get the same performance you get out of a freaking PS4 controller. So I don't get like 3-4 hours maximum out of mine. But the Elite 2, you get 40 hours out of that, but that's like a premium battery. You're not going to get that in a basic battery. But I think it's good that we've got options to do it one, because I brought 2 playing charge kits for £12, and they last 20 hours each, and I can change them if they break. I can just swap them out. I prefer what they've done. If they'd have put one in as an extra, it'd have been nice. I've got to admit. But I think it's nice to have options.
You always put Duracell batteries in, don't they?
Yeah, you get 27 hours. You get out of them, for one use.
Well, I didn't get 27 hours use out of that.
VJ says my batteries are gone already. This was on like day 2 or day 3 of owning it. Exactly. I said, you get over 20 odd hours of gaming out of that. He goes, I ain't been on it that long.
Well, Tushy, I got to agree with you on the fact that I like that they give you the option. All right, yeah. Like when it comes down to it, because over time, when it comes to the PS4 controller and now the PS5 as well, in the internal batteries, depending on the use and how heavy you use them, they wear down over time, and they get to a point where they're just not staying alive long enough for a certain gamer, and you can't just go and get like a new set of batteries or a new kind of like play and charge kit. You got to go get a whole new controller at that point in time. Where with Xbox, like if you want to go the battery route, which people still do. Me myself, I switch between 2 controllers. I have an older Xbox One controller, just a regular controller. It is the all red one, and I have my Elite Series 2. I use the regular Xbox One controller for racing games because I use the other one more for kind of like shooters and stuff like that. And I have a play and charge kit in the regular Xbox One controller, and then the Elite Series 2 controller has that incredible battery in it that lasts like over 40 hours. You know what I'm saying? So between the two, you invest a little bit more at one point in time, like, was it like $35 for a play and charge kit or something like that? Of course, depending on where you live in the world, you got to go with your currency.
$24.99.
Yeah. So in the United States, is that in the United States or is that where you are?
Yeah. I bought one from. Funnily enough, you know what? And this is important. I was talking to Mr. Tucci about buying a rechargeable set, and I was just about to buy one off of Amazon, and because no one else seemed to have it. But then, just at the last minute, we caught the fact that it only comes with a micro USB input, and so we decided then try to find it all the other retailers, Best Buy, Target, and none of them had it. So then I called up to Microsoft, and they're the only ones that have it with the USB connector, and it's $24.99, and it gives you up to 30 hours of charge. So that was a close call, but no retailer seems to have the USB connector version for the for your controller for the rechargeable battery plug and play sort of thing.
Yeah, you'd have to buy a USB-C cable.
Yeah.
If you got the old one, you have to buy a USB-C cable to charge your controller.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I know the Xbox are offering those. Only Microsoft, are selling those at the moment.
All great points. I will try and get on to removable sanity because that topic's nearly an hour.
Sorry.
So have we got another hour then on that topic? Are you happy for that?
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. This is what happens when you do a live show with real gamers, man. We just go off.
PGA Tour players too.
How are you getting on with it and removable sanity?
I am probably different to every single person on this panel because I use my Series X not for just playing games, but I also use it for what they predominantly wanted to try and push Xbox in this generation for. I use it for content creation. And at the moment, I can't really say about the actual crashes because I'm also in the console alpha skip ahead program. And if anyone's in that, they know that you get the latest trials software on the system, which is a 50-50 element because sometimes it breaks it, sometimes it doesn't. Then they quickly send another update, a day later. So in terms of the crashes, I can't really say because I'm in the alpha program and we are the people who normally generally get to test, or I say are the guinea pigs for testing out the new problems and new software that's going to come through on the Xbox Series.
I'm in the alpha right along with you, man. I know your pain sometimes.
It is just a simple, you get something, it comes in, you think it's working 1 minute, the next day it doesn't work. So it's a catch-22. You get to see the early benefits, but you also get to see the early problems. In terms of me, I think for what I do like about the system is it's quick, it's fast, it's very stylish, and in terms of everything they've promised, in terms of the software and the hardware, it seems to be performing to its task. Where it comes to the elements I don't like, it's because of my age, and also because of my content creation aspect to it. So I'll kind of cut into my age. A bit like VJ, I'm from a generation who was brought up at the beginning of gaming. So loading screens for me was a perfect time to go go to the toilet, have a snack, and maybe have a kip. I don't have that now. So instantly I'm now finding myself having to adjust my actual social standings, almost effectively. It's like, if I was playing a game and I'd like, all right, Tushi's messaged me, I'm getting into the end of the level, I can, send him about a 5-minute conversation. And trust me, anyone who's ever heard me talk, it is normally a 5-minute conversation. Now I'm lucky. There's no such thing. It's loads. That's it. Want to go for a piss? No chance. Want to get something to eat? No chance. Want to speak to somebody? No chance. It loads. It's there. It's in. It's like for crying out loud. So that's me just being old. It's.
I did this the other day. I was on Wreckfest. I pressed go when we was in the lobby. I literally picked my phone up, just a load of Twitter to see if it had come through. Next minute, I was stood on the track, and everyone had drove off.
There you go. So is that a bad thing?
Takes you by surprise, doesn't it?
It's not a bad thing. It's just that I'm old and I do I still want to go for a piss and pick up a snack whilst I'm playing gaming. I'm now having to kind of do that prior, make sure I've got a piss bottle right next to me and make sure I've got snacks next to me or something,
I hope it's not one other same thing.
I have to be careful here just in case. The other element, which I don't think anybody has mentioned, is that there has been a tweak to the capture system. For those who have the Xbox One X, you would normally capture at 1080p 2 minutes of gameplay. Mm-hmm. Now, for most people, you're probably thinking, what's the issue? On the Xbox Series X, it's now 1 minute. So for me,
really,
it's 1 minute. They've cut off minute. So for me, when I use my Xbox I do a lot of reviews. I use my Xbox for content creation, and I use it for capturing certain aspects of the game I'm reviewing or playing. I now have to do twice as many because they've changed the actual capture element to it, which is an absolute pain in the arse for me.
Yo, Sanity, I gotta say real quick, because for people who do follow my channel, I do, and I'm doing this after this show as well. Next podcast, and I have gameplay going like while we're talking and stuff like that. unless we specifically say that, this is an episode where you get to vote for the best gameplay, that's all my gameplay, man. I rely on the 2 minutes and stuff like that. And, I still have to go in and put it all together at the end of the day. And just to let you know, to give you a proper perspective, I have an hour and 20 minutes of gameplay ready for tonight's show. Dude, cutting it down to 1 minute is going to be, oh, man. Oh, I don't like that.
Exactly.
Removable, but you don't use a laptop to make content. So there's but
well, it's not that. See, I can use a external hard drive to capture an hour's worth of 4K or what's not. The reason I do it is the way I do it differently is I capture small segments because I plan out as I'm going along reviewing the game, and it's the way I work. And some people also they use 2 minutes because I think, oh Christ, I saw something sometimes, and the way with loading is now, you could instantly, oh Christ, I wanted to capture that. With 2 minutes, it gave you a bit of enough time to, even if you'd slightly missed it, to pick up what you was trying to capture. With a minute, you're going to have to be shit hot at pressing that button to make sure you capture that. It's a minor thing, but it's a pain in the ass for those who do regular content creation. And I was surprised at why it's been taken out, especially when the Xbox One X is doing the exact same thing, 1080p, at 2 minutes. So
sanity. The only other thing I could suggest on that is, from what I heard, and again, I don't have a Series X, but if you do the whole external hard drive for
it. Yeah, you can do the whole 4K on one external hard drive and just capture it in one go.
It'll just keep recording and stuff like that if you want to do it that way as well.
I think it's just really for the 2 minutes. It's easier to say you want to capture something, or you haven't pressed a button in time, or it gives you a little bit of a buffer. With 1 minute, you're now going to have to be a little bit hotter.
Dude, I'm with you on that, man. I'm a little disappointed in that information, brother. I am.
As Indy says, it's first world problems. You're right. It's first world problems. But it's a pain in the arse. Maybe they'll change it. Maybe they'll bring it back. But it's wasn't mentioned. It was never said. It hasn't done it. One of the good things, and this is from Rosie, I'd like to highlight that, is the Auto HDR. That is a amazing software tool, especially for your 360, your indie games, or your previous generation, especially on SD. It works so well. It is truly fantastic. I was hesitant at how I'd work it, but if you've got a 4K TV and you've got an SD game, it really does bring it to life. It does exactly what it says on the tin. They're not lying. I was really surprised at how well it does work. And I would recommend just loading up an old game, as you said, 448. Load up an old game and you will see the difference. It's strange, but you will see the difference.
Look at Wreckfest.
Why do we keep going back to Wreckfest? What about Wreckfest do I not know about? Like, you guys keep talking about it.
Amazing.
I feel like I'm out of the loop here because I don't have that game now. Like,
you need to have it.
Oh man,
I've just bought it. I
gotta start e-begging like big time. $1 for Wreckfest. Yeah.
They dropped the loading times from something like 2 minutes or something down to 5 seconds on the Series X. It's a lot. You can see a lot more color in the screen, and it runs really fluent as well.
Do you have to have an HDR TV enabled to actually experience the HDR, whatever you're talking about, RS?
Yes, you will have to have an HDR or an HDR monitor. So that is something that you will have to have. And I think.
Sorry, can I just say you often remind me of Brian Murphy?
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know how to take that.
That's lovely.
He's offended.
You've caught me off guard there.
Stubbs, I do want to say this is probably the first podcast with the adjective lovely describing me as a guest, man. I just want to say thank you for that, by the way.
For me, that was removable.
What can I say? But yeah, no, it does its job. But I do, as I pick up from 448, there is obviously the downside of the fact we don't have a first-party game. And picking up on VJ's point, definitely Yakuza would have been a fantastic alternative. Definitely would have helped the transition go through. That being said, we are having some pretty big games coming up soon. The Medium is coming out in January. Now, I'm not really hearing many people any negativity on that game. Everyone's saying, yeah, this looks really good. Okay, it's coming in January. It was supposed to come in December. COVID hit. What can we say?
I think it's got. The reason is because it has a very interesting premise to it, and I think also it's from Blooper. It's also from Poland. It's a studio that's been trying to sort of find its way over a number of years, and this game could very well be, it's where it receives a sort of standing ovation, right? And I think everybody wants it to be good as well. It's been a long time.
It's also got the music from the Silent Hill musician director,
composer.
People.
The ingredients look very, very good to from where we're sitting. I think we just actually taste the apple crumble, so to speak.
Yeah, they might have moved it back as well because they might be scared of the cyberpunk release.
I've just heard Mr. Pushi's stomach start rumbling as soon as I mentioned food.
Dude, you said apple crumble. I'm like, damn, I'm hungry now. Like cookies, apple crumble. I'm good to go. Let's go.
This is not really a gaming podcast. It's turning into a food podcast, isn't it?
For real.
It's turning into one topic podcast.
Welcome to the Food Porn Podcast.
Can we talk about Savlois?
Because Export had to ask earlier what one was.
Yo, for real. That looks so good, though. I was like, damn, I'd eat that. Yeah, I would eat that.
But definitely, the Medium, just to wrap up, I think it very, very much, I think everybody hopes it is their magnus opus, and I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, even they released a new trailer recently, and you can hear a little bit of the music, and it was like, it gave me such vibes of like Silent Hill meets like Stranger Things. Like the music was awesome. I loved it. Very cyberpunky, scary type of music.
Absolutely. Sorry, RS. Please carry on with that one topic.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, that one topic. Let's keep going.
No, I think we should move on to the next topic because Stubbs looking a little bit grumpy.
We won't get through all of them anyway, so it don't matter.
We can try.
Which one do you like? Which one?
Good 4 hours. What in topics?
Yeah, because there's loads. Well,
you're in charge. Come on, chop. Don't get out of it now.
You're not a co-host.
You can talk about anything you like.
Look at that. Talk about it.
Yo, Jamie in the chat, Scorn is crazy. It looks absolutely gorgeous and completely disturbing at the same time. And like, I want to play it, but I don't want to touch it at all. Like,
if you're a Geiger fan, it is definitely up your street.
Can we talk about broken games?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that one. So basically, this isn't a new thing, but are we all fed up with games releasing broken? As it was a common theme last generation, this was quite prevalent last generation as well. Because I am a Gears fan, as every person will know, and that actually released broken. Seems to be a common theme with any big game now. To be honest, let's go with. What's your thoughts, Export?
Oh, thank you for coming to me first, brother. I appreciate this, man. Let's take you back to 2013. All right, let's take you back to the start of this previous generation, the generation I am still in now. Right, everybody was talking about x86 architecture, and the developers, and of course the companies that were making these consoles talking about, yo, it's going to be great. We'll be able to update these games. I know there was a couple people out there on YouTube kind of warning, watch out for lazy developers, because what's going to happen here is with this ability to update the game and to put out patches at an easy manner, just like the PC, in the PC space with PC gaming, something could happen. There is a dark side to this, and we are now full-fledged into the shadow of the dark side. Games come out absolutely broken, and the thing is It's x86 architecture. We could just fix it over time. And you know what? We have just let it happen. As a community, we have just let it happen. There was certain games. I do remember, like when Star Wars Battlefront, when it came to the microtransactions, I loved seeing the community come together and basically smash that game to pieces to the point where EA had to bow down to the consumers out there and the gamers out there, and they had to change everything about that, man. That is what I'm talking about. When the gamers in the community come together, man, we can actually dictate the direction of the entire industry because we're the ones who give them our bloody money. All right. So when it comes to this, yes, it's x86 architecture, and yes, they can update the games, but there is no excuse. There is no excuse for them to release games as broken as they are at points in time. Let's be real about this. Like
we'll give them this year, though. We'll give them this year. For this year, we'll give them that excuse. But any other time, no.
Dude, we've been saying that for like 5 years. We've been saying that for most of this past generation.
We've got COVID. Okay, we've got COVID. We've got a pandemic at the moment. That I can pretty much understand how things are going to potentially hit or impact on the program. But generally, there really isn't an excuse.
You know, brother, you know what's funny? I hear you on that, but I can point to a certain studio called Moon Studios, right? Moon Studios has no headquarters. Every single one of those developers are in a different part of the world.
Right? All over the world.
They are all over the world. They can come together. Granted, it takes more time, which is why like Ori took so long and then Ori 2 took so long. It does take more time, but they have shown that when it comes down to it, you can release a solid game at launch and not have a headquarters. Let's be real, man.
Yeah, it's a different way of working. We have companies that Moon Studios is a unique company in terms of the way I'm understanding things. It is everything is self-supporting. In terms of the individual teams which are working there. With the other companies, they're kind of a retro throwback from previous conglomerate systems and previous ways of working, which employ thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different people. It's an old school way of working, a bit like working from home. You know, we are of a generation now, and let's face it, we are a privileged generation of now being able mostly, you know, America's a little bit different with your data caps, but generally, mostly we can work, or we have the ability to, in some cases, do some of our work at home. You know, in terms of when it comes to software and coding and aspects, obviously not for your likes of Tushi, who are doing all the hard work and doing all the heavy lifting and still having to drive trucks everywhere. But for those in the software areas and the technical side of things, we are privileged in doing that. So to try and get a company to then revert to that system, they will resist that for as long as possible. Because you've also got to realize you've got a structure in there that doesn't trust its employees. No company in the world that's huge and big like that is still got throwbacks of they are having people looked over or watching what they're doing. If you're working remotely, yes, you are, because you're seeing that it's hard to basically look over your employees 24/7. And that's what the old corporations still have. They still got that throwback of watching over their staff like hawks, you know. And that is why we're still getting this. It's an old throwback. I think, VJ, you'll probably have to comment a bit more better on this in some cases. It is trying to change EA or trying to change these big corporations to work remotely is going to take more time. Will it eventually happen? Yeah. But I think it's also...
By the time it happens, we're going to be through this. There's going to be a vaccine. Everybody's going to be shot up there. And then
it won't happen for the next 10 years, I'll tell you now. I suspect it'll be 10 years. Yes, really? We've managed to remote access, but there will be resistance from management. Yeah. Because they will say simply, I do not trust you to work at home. It's very simple. Yeah. They will say that they want to keep an eye on you 24/7. And if they can't keep an eye on you, they've been forced to in this pandemic because it's going to hurt their profit margins. But they will want you back at that office working 36 hours a week, or 36 hours a day. So it's stupid. They will want you back there pushing hard. They're not going to let you off.
Sanity, I'm really trying to hear you on this, but for some reason we lost our fearless leader and we were added a husk.
It's my show now, motherfucker.
Yo, what the hell happened, man?
That means it's going to get a hell of a lot more interesting very quickly.
Wow, man.
What are we talking about?
We were talking about
I
your
just got
mom.
off work.
Broken games being patched.
How dare you? She's a nice lady.
I know. I took your mom out to a nice seafood dinner, and now I am never gonna call her again.
That's how I like it. I don't need no new dudes in her life, dude. Fuck that shit.
Nobody,
You ain't my dad.
Anchorman fan? Nobody's Anchorman. Aw.
Yes. Good one.
But
So come on, Husk, let's go. You're on it. What would you believe? Do you believe day one patches or releasing broken games? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think we all know the answer.
Garbage.
Amen.
Like, don't release the goddamn game till it's done. Like, all right. So let's give a good example. How many times has Cyberpunk been delayed? A lot, right?
I
But
think like 3.
they're delaying that because they're making that choice because they don't want to release a broken piece of shit that has a damn patch like for the first 3 weeks to fix every goddamn glitch in the Matrix.
Exactly.
And it's still probably going to have its bugs like every game does, but it's not going to be game breaking. It's not going to turn people off from wanting to play it. So yeah, don't get it right the first fucking time.
Amen. But do you think it's is it kind of the best way I think it is? Do you think it's now become a almost accepted in terms of the corporations as we can just patch it, just get it out the bloody door, just hit the program, hit the target. It's a patch job. Everyone's going to be fine with it. Which which you were saying, Bot, we have allowed.
Yeah, too many fucking people are doing it. They are accepting it.
Dude, Husk, it's something that I've been saying. I said when we started this, and I absolutely loved this topic when I saw it in the DM. I was like, man, I'm going to go in on this. It's the whole, starting in 2013, switching over to the x86 architecture, the same architecture that, PC games are built on, where they get their updates and stuff. I remember, back in 2013, they're like, it's going to be great. We can update the game over time and we can put in patches and stuff. And this is this was the fearful dark side of that, where games would just come out broken and they're like, shit, we'll just over time we're gonna patch it up, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's garbage, total garbage to do that.
It's the trouble is, I say, is how do you rectify that? To rectify that, you're either going to need exactly what Bot was saying. We need the community to come along and say, we are not accepting this anymore. And are we going to do that? Or are we going to have something seriously broken or seriously something that we all care about before we all rally up and say, stop this?
Well, look at there's
microtransactions.
Another good example is like games with a service. Like they keep releasing these games with a service that have no backbone and they're total fucking garbage. And then they, their plan is to release content here, as they go. It's like, why give us this? Like, all right, as much as I love Sea of Thieves, that game was just this bare bones fucking experience.
It was
nice, brother.
I am walking on thin ice. I love that game. I played it since day one. I haven't been back to it in a while, but I've dumped so many fucking hours in that game. I love it. But where they didn't fuck up is that like when they released this game and they were adding this content, it was.
Hang on, ask your microphone just went
Muted.
It's not only free content, but the game wasn't fucking.
Do you think it's Stubbs actually just pressing the mute button on your remotely?
Somebody is doing that. Somebody's got to be doing it.
Uh-huh. Well, for those of you that don't know, last night I was on Retro Renegades, and for the last 30 minutes of the podcast, I was talking to myself.
I get that generally with my
Everything.
partner, so I wouldn't worry.
On that show, that is how you get the most intelligent conversation. Shout out to my buddy Jay out there, man. Yeah.
Yep. Every response they had when I said something fell in line perfectly, so I had no fucking clue.
I know. Dude, now I have to go
Anyways,
back and check that out.
it was awesome to talk to you. Games releasing in a broken state is total fucking garbage. I hate it, and we'll see you guys when this show's over. Well, 2 hours.
Yes, without doubt.
Thanks for letting me crash it for a minute. I'm gonna go get my pizza and start drinking some more beer.
Heaven's
See
no
you soon,
pineapple.
Husk.
It's obvious.
Later, fellas.
It's pineapple. Oh, I do love that guy. He's such a lovely guy.
How you doing?
Oh, we got him back.
I bet you wonder what was going on there.
And that, sir, what was that? Like,
It was kind of, he DM'd me saying, "You've got to let me crash, but don't tell no one." And then because I heard Pong Soul keep saying, "Don't mute yourself," I kept playing with a mute button.
nice.
Oh, God.
Nice.
I can still hear you all, you know.
That was unique. Well done, Stubbs. We should do more of that, actually. We should do more of that. Just people crashing in.
Remember when I crashed UK Does his Stubbscast?
I remember
Yeah.
that, yeah. On the phone. You rang me, didn't
Dude,
you?
I
had Noof Nukem crash next podcast one point in time. Dark Optimus sent him the link to the Hangout. I didn't know, but he was asking in the chat if he could come in. And all of a sudden, you know, when Noof comes into a show, like he's not quiet. It's like, oh, I'm like, I jumped. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
You got your hand off your lap quicker than anything else.
When I crashed Dazzy's Stubbcast, I just rang Stubbs during the show and just give him the loudest battle toads ever. Then hung up.
Yeah, at random, you should just invite me one point in time and come in. I'll be like, Battle Toad! And then I'm just going to leave. Like, that's going to be it.
Oh, right. Who didn't answer that? Come on. There was I think Rosie, did you mention? We hadn't chat to you about that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I would say this is something that's been a big issue for me. I remember, and I'll never forget it when Cliffy B, speaking of gears, Cliffy B, he had mentioned once. I remember you got to vote with your wallet, and see, if you see a lot of BS going on in the games, and for example, repetitive gameplay. That's why I was talking about Assassins earlier. For me, that's pretty much the way how I've been taking this generation. After I saw Cliffy B said that, but you know what? I think we do deserve better. We have to stand up and we have to just vote with your wallet. If there's a game that's I'm tired of a lot of games being released and there's a day one patch, or I remember with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there was something I think where it was deleting your game saves, I believe, at some point, which was a silly I found. Like some of these things, I'm like you would think it would be caught, right? But I don't know, and I feel, and on the other hand, I feel like that, but then on the other hand, there's also a lot of corporate pressure probably on these studios and these publishers, to hey, we need to get these 3 games out by the Series X launch, for example, because it's going to sell a lot. It's going to sell the most, and it would sell say a couple months down the line, right? So
very true. Very true.
So it's kind of tricky. I don't. It's really tricky. But I mean, luckily, I think, for example, with Xbox Studios, I think Phil can convey that to his higher ups. Be like, hey, we could do this. Yeah, we could release it, but we should just release it properly. So it really depends. I don't know about other companies, our publishers, if they can really do that, or if they have anyone to feel comfortable doing that. Maybe not. If you speak up, hey, you get written up for something, So it's really tricky. But the industry does have to have that, at least allow that freedom for them to speak up and be like, hey guys, if you guys want to make more money, for example, like Cyberpunk, we could release this when it's ready, and it's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to be the best-selling game probably like I've ever, compared to we're going to release it back in February this year, then it'd be so buggy and frame rates are low or choppy and this and that, and it could have ruined the game, right? Because the initial reaction, right, is what really I think sells a lot of games, especially in this day and age with Twitter and social media and everything. Like for example, the Avengers, like a game.
What was it? They recently just said they haven't made their money back yet.
Exactly, right. They put so much money into it, thinking, "Oh, it's the Avengers. We can make lots of money off of that, guys." But just off of the name alone. So they were lazy, like you guys said, about this topic, broken games. They're just lazy. Oh yeah, we can patch it later. Oh, it's the Avengers. People love these guys. Oh, Tony Stark. Yeah, people love him. He's so cool. And then but no, it's you're seeing the effects right there with that type of mentality of oh, we can just patch it later. It's about profits first and gaming later, right? Profits before gamers.
I do agree with that statement. Vote with your wallet, but the problem is, vote with your wallet doesn't really work on Xbox game studios now because of Game Pass. They won't see it. They just see subs now.
Oh, trust me, they will. If no one's playing it, if no one starts playing that game or cuts off, they'll know.
Yeah,
I don't think personally. I don't think this is a big kind of first party thing when it comes to Xbox and when it comes to PlayStation. We've all seen the past generation. PlayStation has no problem delaying games. They delayed Uncharted 4 times. They delayed 95% of their first party lineup when it came to the PS4. So they don't have a problem doing that. And with Xbox, I think when it came to Sea of Thieves, they put out the structure to create more, and they were thinking Game Pass at that point in time. Put out the game at launch and get people used to going out hunting for treasure and all that good stuff, and then over time as they do updates, add to the content and stuff. I don't think it was necessarily hey, we're throwing out a broken game. I think the broken game scenario is more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you'll get instances out of each one. I feel that the whole broken games x86 architecture thing. I think that is more reflective on the third party multi-plat kind of scene, those developers, those publishers. Especially with the publishers that are involved. You look at some of them like the Activisions, you look at the EAs. There are some really, really greedy third-party publishers out there that are you know what, just put it out and fix it later. We need our money now. We need to sell these season passes.
Well, actually, you've actually got a good point there. Look at, was it 13, the remaster of 13. Recently, the remaster of 13, for those who don't know, it actually... It was tweeted out, the original got downloaded more than the remaster sold.
Wow. Wow.
That's how bad it was. They actually got the remaster. Actually, it prompted people to buy the original one more.
Horrible, man. That is such a bad reflection on the work you did, right? or the work that you didn't do in that case as well. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Well, a lot of people were saying it was. There's a couple of things. One of the things was they changed slightly the art style, which I think it miffed off a lot of people. But generally, a lot of people said it was broken in so many fundamental ways. The AI, the lighting, the sound. Everything was just broken. It's why?
Is Mr. Tippy still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You can chime in. You can.
I'd like to hear from Mr. Tucci, and then I'll go after him if I'm allowed.
To be honest, I'm getting quite pissed off because I've spent 140 quid on 2 games. I've brought a load more, but these 2 games I've brought are both broken, which is Cold War and Watch Dogs. But it goes back all. I remember in 2013 when Battlefield 4 came out. I don't know if you can remember this one. Is no matter what, when you're playing your game, you could not save your game. You'd save it, but you come back on the next day and there's not a save on your Xbox at all. And it was about 9 months until they patched that one. maybe 6 months, 9 months, maybe. I think it was.
Oh, I can believe it with them. Yeah.
The amount of times I tried to complete that game in one day, but you get like 3/4 of the way through. You've been on it all day, and you think, I've got to come off. Then you come on the next day, you're like starting a brand new campaign again. You're like, oh. But it's. I don't mind the odd little bugs here and there and stuff. They're quite funny, some of them, like the glitches and stuff. I find them entertaining. Especially like that Spider-Man where there's flying around as a wheelie bin. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
actually real. Is that real?
Yeah,
yeah. There's a bug in the game where it's
someone made it. Oh, okay.
It was using pre-made assets from the city, and it was replacing the main character model with pre-made assets. Like I saw what was it, a rack of polo shirts that was Spider-Man at one point in time. Like that was hilarious, man. That was great.
Well, there's a recent one with the Spider-Man game where he said, is he solid or is he liquid? And he gets hit by an enemy and then he just almost like melts into the paper as a liquid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind stuff like that. They're quite entertaining, but it's the stuff where like it, where you struggle, you can't save, it's constantly crashing. They're the ones that piss me off.
Yeah,
I don't mind the odd glitch. Like I completed Breakpoint when it first came out. I didn't mind the glitches on that one. They're quite funny. They were like you're flying around in the helicopter and the guy's like 5 meters in front of the helicopter flying around the map. It's quite funny. No, I don't mind it, but it just pisses me off when you really want to play a game and it's just like on Cold War. I can't even finish that.
Well, that's it. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and that's the last thing you want, because if it leaves a sour taste, as you rightly said, you look at Watch Dogs Legions, you were losing saves, you deleted it. And you said, I'm not touching that until they patched it. To be fair, you shouldn't have had to do that at all. Now, admittedly, okay, we can probably say there may be this issue due to the pandemic. We can maybe give some of the games and the multiplats, the new generations, a little bit of leeway in terms of, things being updated, transitioning from one generation to the next generation. But the previous years, there really isn't any excuse. It is and we kind of, as a gaming community, kind of got to be a bit careful of our words as well, because 9 times out of 10 we always moan at the developers. It really isn't the developers who are being whose fault it is. Some, but generally it's the publishers. They are putting tremendous pressure on these guys to say, you need to get it out at this day, and we kind of do often moan at the developers when it really is it's not 9 times out of 10. It's not them. It's they're trying to do the best they can, and they've got management just saying, "Look, here's a deadline. Get it done."
Yep, I think Martin Luther King said, right, a man can't ride your back unless it's bent. Someone can correct me there, but by purchasing broken games, we're all allowing publishers to ride, belittle, and perform a vasectomy on gamers without an anesthetic, right? Interpretate that however you desire. Another British joke there. No one got it.
Oh, we got it.
You would think that developers and publishers, because that's what you just mentioned, Removable, they are fed up, right, of shipping broken games and that give them a commercial financial headache, if not, a severe catastrophe, right? It can have on any given release, right, in terms of a commercial impact, right, in terms of just reducing the brand's value, right, let alone the publishers, right, sort of once bitten, twice shy. Are you going to buy their next game at launch? You only have to look at at a game that I really enjoyed, again, subjective, Days Gone, right, suffering from poorly received sort of critic reviews based on the fact that there were far too many, bugs or glitches or whatever that it was sort of painfully infused with. I don't think Sony will ever allow that to happen again, and I can't recall the last time it happened to a Nintendo game. Lesson learned, in fact, given the commercial results of Days Gone. Nonetheless, a year on, when I picked it up, it was a rewarding experience. Until I played the Ghost of Tsushima, I was a bit concerned about that. And just going back to what Xbox was saying, look, there are studios that are putting out games that aren't broken, and that was incredibly polished. I know I had a few bits in the here and there that I was seeing on Twitter, but I never experienced any of those. I think today, speaking to Mr. Tucci, obviously, so it's kind of influenced me a little bit in regards to Watchdog Legions, which is a title by Ubisoft, and one that has already been delayed by a year. Makes you wonder what indeed was the state of the game technically at that point in 2019 when it was first shown to us, because as far as I remember, and again, correct me, visually it looked very good in its reveal in 2019. I think that is partly why CD Projekt Reg's Cyberpunk 2070, CDPR's Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed until December 10th right now, right, as far as we're aware. Compared with Watchdog Legions, we can all see the grace, sort of beauty and majesty on display, right, with this game.
I think for that one, if I can just jump into that, I think the one thing they had an issue with on Watchdog Legions was the it was, if I remember correctly, I'm sure I remember seeing an interview, and it was to do with the new system itself, because they changed from a singular character to someone you could be, and you could play any NPC. So it was a brand new system, and I think it had some serious. Whilst it visually run rather well, it was the character generation system that had some major flaws in it, which was a brand new thing. And I think that was the main crux of it. I'm not defending Watchdog Legions, but I think that was the issue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have been a bit more clearer. Removable. I was referring to the save issues that I think Clowns, Zemi, and Mr. Tucci have been. That's the one consistent factor that I've been coming across. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when you're programming a game, it doesn't matter what facet of the game you're coding or what area, bugs can arise anywhere at any time across the program. And maybe a lot of people aren't aware of that. As I've said previously, technical issues still persist on certain formats, and a patch of sorts needs to arrive and be approved. And this is in terms of Cyberpunk, right? Because FPQA closes for the holidays in a couple of weeks, right? And notwithstanding, you've got Thanksgiving here at the moment. And it's interesting that prior to sort of reviewers and critics casting their vote in a number of sort of ballot drop boxes, if they're not rigged, of either it's decent, either it's going to get Cyberpunk's going to get it's a decent game, what might have been, or it's a masterpiece. And I think that they've delayed it because of some of the feedback of the review code going out into the wild. CDPR want their latest creative endeavor in Cyberpunk to record, receive, or hit a unanimous critic score, I would say, right, of 90 plus, right? And that's a great goal to have. Yesterday in itself, Yong Ye alluded to something that I've been saying for a while, that, hey, look, guys, there is a patch coming on day one, which he actually, I don't know if he was under embargo or was allowed to say, that's going to resolve technical issues with Cyberpunk 2077, which inadvertently, looking at what's happened to games in the past that have been reviewed, that have been marked down for that exact reason, even though that they know that a patch is coming in tow, they don't take that into consideration, marking the game in at that point in time. CDPR, if you recall, make games, and this is going back to Xbox, you have to also consider that they make games arguably at 1/3 of the cost of a Western publisher, and at the same time, they only produce one game every few years. They have an incredible advantage over Western publishers. So you cannot take that fraction out of the equation, so to speak. You have to include it. They absolutely desire to want to remain at the forefront of game development, technology, creativity, or whatever you want to call it, whilst producing something that causes, I think, a paradigm shift in video gaming experiences while selling, their modest 30 million or 50 million copies of a game. It's important, or before it becomes a Netflix show, it's maybe Amazon Prime. It's important to recognize, for me, in the midst of all of this discussion of broken games and so on and so forth, that indie games aren't broken. Anyway, get that shameless plug out of the way. CD. Yeah, I'm just expecting a pizza now from the Indie Gamer.
Well, you're expecting the pizza from Indie, but guys, I got to interrupt real quick. I got to let you guys go because I am doing a double header, and I got next podcast kind of situated, ready to go, but they need me in there. I'm using a new thing, the Google Meet, because they stopped the Hangout calls and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, yep.
I got to make sure, I got to be there to let everybody in as well. I didn't know that.
No worries.
But yo, Stubbs, everybody on the panel, it was an absolute blast. I had a lot of fun, guys.
Before you go, series, could you just make sure you tell yourself, tell us where you can be found?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can find me right here on YouTube. I am a small YouTubing channel looking to grow big time. Trying to bring that common sense back into the gaming news. So just search Xbot448 here on YouTube if you don't know my channel yet. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter. Same thing, Xbot448. Gamer tag on Xbox Live is, you guessed it, Xbot448. I try to keep everything simple. So, just type in Xbot448 if you think it's a place you might want to talk to me. And I'm pretty much there. But guys, I will say, first off, great show. I love talking the gaming news and the topics with you guys. And if you do have time after this show, come over and check out the next podcast. I will be looking in the chat to see you guys there. Everybody in the chat, if you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. What are you waiting for? Stubbs is an awesome content creator, and an awesome gamer, and a good friend. So definitely do that, guys. Hey, no doubt. And guys, I am out. I will see you guys later. Yeah.
Take care, my friend. Have a good one.
So I'll just wrap up my point. So it's important to recognize, and I talked about this last week as well, as I was saying, in the midst of all these broken games, hopefully, I know it's probably a belated Christmas present from CDPR. I know it's quite not Christmas Day, but anyway, in terms of, I'm really looking forward to the type of what the creators of CDPR, in terms of what ingredients they put into this game, insight, forward planning, their imagination, intuition, their memory concentration, their spatial awareness, resilience, and determination, right? And above all, creative genius. These, as I was mentioning on Boom Show, are some of the building blocks, right? That if by some miracle all harmonically come together on a high note, so to speak, you can inevitably or inadvertently, I guess you could also say, is harness and produce something special. Money and a number of people at a project don't necessarily equate to a good game. We've seen that time and time and time again. And for me, it at least seems to be something in every way. Is probably, when I just saw the gameplay videos for the Series X and for the PlayStation, I'm assuming it was slightly different footage. It was, to me anyway, other than
it was slightly different footage. Yes, yeah,
other than the fact they were both sort of filmed at night time or something. In every way, but for me, in every way, it's the sort of visual personification of absolute perfection, as Mr. Wild would put it, because it does look that good. I was so surprised to even see it running so well on the Xbox One and the was it Xbox One or One X and the PS4 Pro.
One X, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
What creatively for me remains to be discovered is to what degree, scope, and level does the game engage one's imagination, and with its storyline, with its narrative, with its interaction. And I guess that kind of dovetails also into everyone's sort of subjective and individual judgment of how the gameplay is, right? So at the moment, while I'm patiently waiting for CDPR's next extravagant soiree, shall we say, I'll try to avoid using Magnus Opus. Whoops, I've done it. And I'll say, please go out and I'm not being paid by them. Go out and try Hyperdot, because that's one game I'd love to talk about, but not sure we've got the time today. So that's all I have to say on the matter.
Stubbs dead.
That's a wrap.
I'm here. Sorry. Yeah, no, definitely. That Hyperdot's a really good game as well, VJ. I've been playing it, but you're at level 70. You're seriously good at that game.
What?
I've been playing it blindfolded. I don't want to boast.
Go. Welcome, Hazardor. Dragon Wolf, I think you've been here the entire time. I might have missed you. I've been trying to get a word in edgeways, you see, with everyone. The panel's so hyped to talk about everything.
Sorry.
Yes,
would you prefer a more silent panel?
Definitely, yeah. Who ain't spoke on the... Everyone spoke on the broken games bit, haven't they?
Except for you.
Yeah, well, basically, broken games are a big problem.
Straight to the point as usual.
Gears 5 was a big one for me, but I got.
Oh.
I got. It was the campaign. You see, was linked to the online servers. You see, and what launched? Well, when it launched, I managed to get through the entire game, but there was a few glitches here and there. But I know a lot of people.
I still don't have an achievement open for that because it broke.
I know a lot of people that couldn't complete the game because of it.
Yeah,
and finally, I just hope. But there's going to be a topic next week about talking about Gear 6. I just hope that obviously the studio changes direction because they've had, Rod Ferguson leave, which I think was I think that was a blessing, but be honest, and a few other people in charge of multiplayer, and things appear to be getting better with multiplayer online now. You actually earn things to want to play, and I don't play all the time now because I try and play campaign games as well now, but I just I don't know whether the problem is that they need to release these games without bugs. It seems to me that reviewers now, some of them on the Xbox side, they focus more on the bugs and knock them down. Even Ori, an incredible game, I know bugs shouldn't be there, but they knock them down when games are such beautiful and they're great games. But they focus too much on that stuff. Although it's a big problem, if you can just about play it most of the, if it's not that much of a big problem, but some of the bugs are little and they're knocking big scores off them, just for bugs,
I think it depends on the reviewers themselves. You have those who have a particular mindset. So, anything, like a glitch or a frame rate issue, that's unacceptable. Where they may, where other games they'll be perfectly fine. So that's dependent on the reviewer. There should be core fundamental things which there shouldn't be acceptable. Saves. That's a core fundamental thing. There's probably a list of core fundamental things that, does the frame rate sit under 20? Is there big crashes or glitches which break the immersion? Do you lose your saves? Stuff like that shouldn't be acceptable. Maybe, the AI has accidentally walked into a wall. Yeah, okay, fine. These are little tweaks as the game may think. But again, that depends on the reviewer and it depends on the person reviewing the game. Exactly. I think some of the bigger sites can be overtly harsh on the most tiniest things and ignore the big things.
For the sleight of hand they're removable, I saw you pay a compliment to reviewers by saying that they have minds, let alone mindsets. It's, very
some
smart.
do. Do you know what? It's normally the independent ones.
Yeah, I agree. There's one that I'm really fond of, and I'm hoping he reviews Hyperdot.
Okay, I think I get the hint. This stuff's gone quiet.
I'm here, but in general, it's got to be a thing like they're fixing future on all games in general, because it just seems to me that they're obviously some of these. I've spoken to VJ before. It seems that a lot of these big companies like Activision and EA and all Ubisoft, they have an online model as well, but it's more of rush the game out, get the money, get the big profits, and then worry about the bugs after, But until the masses, like the casuals, as you say, the ones that really buy the third party games in masses, until they stand up and as you say, use your wallet. What's the saying?
Oh, vote with your wallet.
That's it. Vote with your wallet. It won't happen because the masses of casuals won't do it. They just see a big advert on TV, looks awesome. I'm going to buy that, and that's it.
That's true. Yeah, I was thinking to most casuals, like for us, maybe we could tell this game is 20 FPS, or this trailer, it dropped to 14 or 20. Did you see that? And then, but most people, most casual, they can't really tell the difference between 30 or 60 or 20 there.
I mean, to me, I don't really. I'm not big on graphics. I mean, I won't sit there and analyze a picture, even if it is lower, even if it's like an indie game, incredible games they are. I judge it on it's a game. I'm trying to drop this AAA, AA thing and just call them games because it's getting quite annoying now. But hopefully one day we'll get there, you know. But because most indie games release without bugs, to be honest, a lot of them do, because they're smaller studios and they can literally fine pick them. They're not massive, you know, open worlds, you know.
Yeah, I think also that carries there too, where like there's like their name is on the line, right? If they release this, maybe this is like their first game or the big break, and if you release that with bugs, that you're not getting like a sequel or investors to back you for a sequel there for sure.
Oh, definitely. Well, I listen to Indie Gamer here, knows his stuff. Yeah, most indie devs wait until they have the game done before they announce it's ready, and then they have a final release date, like today, until the end was announced to be releasing on the 3rd of December. So it's actually, there you go, it's done, dusted, you know, fine-tuned, checked and everything, and that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have that because these big companies have got investors and all sorts, you know, pre-orders and all that. But yeah, no, I just hope it's a thing that as a generation goes on, it will go away. But with these big no, I'm not saying it, these big budget titles, I just hope it goes away and goes away in games in general, because it's obviously it only bothers me if it takes away from the experience. There are bugs that they don't take away from the experience at all, but some people just nitpick, and a lot of people I've noticed on Twitter may not own a game, but they will jump on the bandwagon and slack it off even if they've never played it before.
Yep.
Yeah.
They will, you know.
Well, look what happened to Crackdown. Well, Crackdown 3. That got slated, didn't it? Nobody even played it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I will defend Crackdown because there's a lot of history in that game. Because what happened was they were making Crackdown 3 and they had a different studio. They were using technology from a studio that was acquired by Epic Games. That you know, the buildings that was falling.
Yeah.
The destruction. it was the cloud tech was owned by a different company, which wasn't owned by Xbox, which is a mistake. They should have acquired them. But Epic Games acquired them and they lost all that tech. So they had to rebuild the entire multiplayer from the ground up in about a year or so. And that's why it didn't turn out to be what they promised in the demo. You know, but obviously in the eyes of the world, you can't say that. But that was the truth of it. They lost all the technology and all the assets for the tech, you know. But if you just play the campaign, you stick to the campaign, you'll probably love it.
Dragon Wolf says he enjoyed Crackdown 3. Could I just ask if that's in Game Pass?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, cool.
You should be able to get hold of Crackdown 1 and 2.
Okay.
It might be free. It was free for a long time.
Yeah, it might still be free there. I think in the story, if you just go, it's under like the free games, like Fortnite, like those type of free to play games. For some reason, there's a lot of 360 games.
Yeah, Rosie, you might be right. They might still be in there 1 and 2. They might be, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been a good show tonight. I don't really want to go over midnight. I try not to. I do because it's obviously late here in the UK. It is. I'm sorry when you got to 2 topics, but we all got talking. That's the problem.
Hey, we're all very passionate. That's for sure.
Definitely. It's definitely
sorry, I went on a bit, Stubbs.
Wasn't you, VJ? It's all of us. It's all of us in total. You know.
I thought. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good chat. It is. It's been a good show. The people in the chat seem to have enjoyed it. Anyway.
Oh, fantastic.
Caitlin Phillips. Hello. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Right. It's been a really good show. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Midweek Gaming again has returned. Thanks for stopping by, Rosie Brown. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Oh yeah, thank you very much again for having me on here. It was definitely a blast. It was a fun time with you guys again, and so main place you can find me. So I do like a lot of updates on Twitter. So my Twitter is @RosieArts. I tweet like a lot of stuff, any deals that I see, like not like a Mario 64 type of person, but like I just any Canadian. I try to keep it more Canadian. So if you're a Canadian, you're watching this, feel free to follow me. There was a deal that I found today at Costco as well. I'm gonna share that in there. So yeah, I'm always on Twitter @RosieArts. I'm pretty much always on Xbox Live as well. It's Club 108. You can find me there. And then on YouTube right now, I still have to get a rebrand going. I'm not all like all my ducks are aligned like XSpot there, but my YouTube is MMA_Yakuza. You can find me in there. And yeah, I try to create some videos that are a little bit different. Right now I'm still trying to look into some other stuff like the random shutdowns and yeah, I'm going to be picking up a mic hopefully for Black Friday coming up. I also like to wish everyone, in the U.S. there and anyone celebrating Thanksgiving, definitely happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. And yeah, eat lots of turkey or veggie turkey and mashed potatoes. Let's have a good time. Remember, it's all about again, like you guys are saying about online with Twitter there. It's it's all about this. Everyone online there's always a person online, behind every username. So. Just be nice and let's have a good time. We're all gamers in the end.
Definitely,
Amen.
Definitely, Rosie Brown. It was definitely great to have you on the show. It's been a while. It's been a bit in the making. I was getting because I put a tweet out about Midweek Gaming and Mr. Tucci. He's quite popular on Twitter, and we had that many DMs and requests to come on. The list took quite a while to get through. It did, It's still solid. I bet he's playing his Xbox.
No, I'm still here. I've got one eye open.
But no, thanks for coming on, Rosie Brown. I really appreciate it today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on, VJ.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on again, Stubbs. It's fantastic to have Rosie Brown on. Yeah, I think I love his hat and I love his TV even more. I just wanted to say, just a shout out to Assassin, Looper, Dragon Wolf, and the Indie Gamer, just to let them know I'm going to be jumping back onto Ori straight after this show. With a cup of tea, of course, in hand. Just a time reminder of being conscious of the fact that it's not a question of what you think, it's a question of how you think, and don't concede the right to think for yourself, but deliver your opinions in a cordial, respectful, and pleasantly suggestive manner. And that's what I really enjoy about your Stubbs show. Anyway, if it tickles your fancy, meaning for the Americans at least, if it appeals to you and you want to try it, you can find me on this upcoming Saturday night community night gaming with Mr. Tucci and so-called friends. However, I think I'll just leave it there, Stubbs. Just wish everyone a great weekend and a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's going to be pretty quiet tomorrow. I think everything's closed here other than the proverbial McDonald's. And I'm looking forward to coming back next week and speaking to you during the week, Stubbs. Thanks very much.
Well, definitely. Thanks for coming on, VJ, as always. Now, Mr. Tucci, how are you doing? And thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me on again. I'm proud to be on this show every week. It's going really well, isn't it?
Have you?
Jeff, I'm trying to prompt you to speak more each week. I am. It's not because you've got your controller in your hand.
Or pasty in his mouth.
Have you noticed from the start to the finish, I talk quite a lot at the start, then later on I get a bit quieter. It's because I'm always up at like 4 a.m. for work.
Yeah, that's why I try and end it nearly like 12, because I know you're up early driving your lorry. You are,
He's going to call me after this show and say, VJ, do you want to jump on gears?
Yeah.
And that is not a comment from me, because I'll probably go to bed,
Yeah, I'll be going to bed after this, don't worry.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Mr. Tucci. Do you want to advertise your community game night, even though nearly everyone in chat probably is a member of your community game night anyway?
Yeah, I think they are.
He's going over to subscription model and charging $5 a month.
Yeah, every Saturday, 9 o'clock UK time. I can't remember the American times. Was it 5 p.m. EST?
That'll be 4 p.m. EST.
4 p.m. EST.
1 p.m. PST for VJ.
That's the one. This weekend we're going to be playing the Halo MCC multiplayer. Hopefully fill up a good lobby on that one. And secondly, it's been requested that we play golf with your friends again.
I love it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm actually attending this time, people.
Yeah,
I'm making my return.
Nice.
It's been a while. It's been a few weeks since I turned up.
Prodigal son returns.
Oh,
Yeah.
You ain't been on since we've been on. It was when we've done the Gears 5, wasn't
Yeah, it was when I played last time when Xbox Pope was playing. I remember that.
it?
Try to join us if you can, Rosie. And
Yeah,
move
try,
it.
definitely.
And
Yeah,
move it
Rose,
as well.
if you can.
I'm definitely down, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm
I don't
definitely.
know what time Canadian time that is though.
It's okay. It's so early here. Here it's only like 7 p.m. So it's
it's quite early in the day then. Oh.
It might be unlikely. He's probably still going to be recovering from his hangover of Thursday night.
Yeah, all those cookies and that's going to be crazy. All that food.
So anyway, you can find me on Twitter as Mr. Tushy, same as on Xbox and PlayStation 4. You can just hit me up if you want to jump in the party. I'm always here if you want to chat. That's about it.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming on. As always, yeah, and thanks for everyone for coming out. The Indie Gamer, Pong Soul, Assassin Looper. Now she's part of the podcast. Well, she's a regular on Retro Renegades, and she's doing really well. Who else did we have? We had loads of people come in. Dragon Wolf. Who else did we have? UK War Stew, Jamie Richardson, Caitlin Phillips. Who else? Matt Barnes. Thanks for stopping by. I'll have to get you on again soon, and we'll have to get you on again soon, Rosie Brown. The rotation might take a little bit, but we'll get you back on. Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Definitely, very good. Definitely. Who else forgot? Just trying to think. The chat's been quite active. Hazardor Gaming stopped by. Masuku stopped by. Thanks for stopping by. There's been loads and loads. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get more Stubbs casts going, but I do them every 2 weeks. But as I've already got December booked. Wow, so January I'm looking at now. But I don't try and book too far ahead because as I learnt with my knee, you never know what's around the corner. So and when I bust my knee in 2 places,
Might be Phil Spencer.
who knows? Who knows? Anyway.
Hopefully.
And you can follow me at Stubbs Gaming on Twitter and subscribe on this channel you're watching now. And if you're listening on podcast form, please leave a review and follow. And if you leave a review, I might read it out on the show so you can hear it after the fact. Right, thanks everyone, and I will see you all soon. See you next Wednesday.